why are you trying to build the business that you're trying to build? Is it just money? Do you just want to make a whole bunch of money? Or do you want to create a lifestyle that you don't need to escape from? Now, for most people, sooner or later you come to the conclusion that it is the latter, right? You want to create a life, because it's very easy to build a business that, you know, makes a whole bunch of money. But then after a while you realize you actually created this monster of a business that you don't enjoy running. I did this in my early days. I left the army when I was 20, just turned 23, and I got a job as a delivery driver. I was working 15 hours a day, making 20 grand a year. And that's not even an exaggeration. I'd go to work at 4:30 a.m. and I would get home at like 7:45 p.m. and just fall asleep instantly. And that was when I got into online business. I actually started out with kind of an agency style business, doing ads for companies and stuff like that. And after about a year of grinding, you know, I started to make good money. I got out of my job and that kind of thing, but I quickly realized that I did not like running this business. You know, I was constantly posting on social media, constantly calling people, following up with people, on sales calls all the time. And I realized I didn't like it. You may have found yourself in this position, maybe in the past, or maybe you're in this position right now, or maybe you're gonna find yourself in this position. But regardless, I wanna save you a whole bunch of time, yeah? Because I've tried everything. Every single marketing method over the past 8 or 9 years, I've tried it. And really, I think there's only one model that truly allows you to build a business where you can make great money but still do more or less whatever you want, right? So like right now, you know, I live in Bali, got this beautiful villa, you can't really see it, but you know, I'm in a position where I can literally do whatever I want, whenever I want, and go wherever I want, whenever I want. And I'm not saying that to brag, because half of you guys are exactly the same as me, but ultimately, when I started out, this is what I wanted to create. Everything's been intentional. You know, I always wanted to create a business that gave me freedom above everything else. And this is the only model that I've kind of found that has allowed me to truly do that. And that is the low ticket model, ascending people into high ticket. Low ticket front end, high ticket back end. So if you're, you know, giving away free lead magnets, if you're posting all over social media, if you're chasing people around in the DMs and stuff like that, let me tell you, you're thinking short term, because those methods, like, they might land you a few clients, but one, they're never going to create consistency, and two, they're never going to create a business that gives you that freedom to do whatever the hell you want. Because as soon as you stop doing those things, everything's going to stop. And again, take it from me, I've been in that position before. It's a very stressful position. So you want to be running a low ticket funnel. If you're trying to get clients, low ticket is the way to go. The reason for this, touching on what I spoke about in my last video, is leverage. You want to be able to attract people without really having to do anything or very little. You want to be able to nurture people without having to do anything or very little. And you want to be able to close people without having to do anything or very little, yeah? And a low ticket funnel is what allows you to do that, because you just run ads, that's your attraction, right? They come into your low ticket product, that's the nurture, and then the low ticket product should ascend them into your high ticket, which is obviously the sales process. So what I want to quickly run you through now is like the perfect funnel that will allow you to do this, because I've run so many low ticket funnels, different products, different price points. I've done all of the trial and error so that you don't have to, yeah? I've recently just launched a new funnel and it is crushing straight out of the gate, right? 14% conversion rate on cold traffic, $84 average order value on a $7 offer. It's insane, it's insane. And the reason for this is, like I said, I've run so many of these funnels that I know what works and I know what doesn't work, and I'm able to put one together that just crushes straight out of the gate. So let's talk about that now. So when I'm putting a funnel together, what I do is when I'm deciding what's going to be in that funnel, I actually start with the price points first, and then I make the products fit those price points. Now this is key, because what a lot of people do is they start with the products first and then they just make the prices match the product. You don't want to do that, because a low ticket funnel is all about economics. You have to make the numbers work. And if you're trying to run a funnel with numbers that kind of don't stack up, then it's going to be impossible to make that funnel work, right? And a lot of people don't realize this. Low ticket is just a math game. Like if you get your average order value above what it costs you to get a customer, you will scale, period. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. And the way that you do this is by starting with the price points. So again, I always say this, but I don't want this to be a long video. So let me just quickly run you through what you want to do so that you can basically copy it, yeah? On the front end, you want to go with a product that is either $7, $17, or $27. All three of those work, right? There's no right or wrong answer. I could get into all of the technicalities and stuff, you know, regarding the differences, but it's not important right now. 7, 17, or 27, they all work, okay? Now, in terms of conversion rate, you want to be aiming for at least 7%. Now, people say, I've heard people say, you know, industry average is 3 to 5% conversion rate on the front end. And they're right, that is average. But we don't want to be average, man. Come on, we don't want to be average. No, 3 to 5% is terrible. Even though it's average, it is average, but it's terrible. And the reason for that is, I've noticed through my own funnels and my clients' funnels, if you put your low ticket funnel together properly, you will get at least 7%. That's like the low end, yeah? My most recent funnel, which I ran for 3 years, consistently produced a 12% conversion rate to cold traffic, month over month, thousands of customers for 3 years straight. The funnel that I'm running now, 14% conversion rate to cold traffic. So you want to be aiming for 7, 8, 9% conversion rate on the front end. If I ran a funnel and it converted at 3%, I think I'd blow my brains out. Okay. So 7, 17, or 27, you want to be aiming for at least 7% conversion rate. Now, after this, you're going to install your order bumps, and your order bumps are going to increase the average order value. So they're the little boxes at the checkout, right? Now, you can have 1, you can have 2, you can have 3. From personal experience, I can tell you the funnel will almost always perform best if you have 3, okay? Hopefully that will save you a bit of time, because if you're running a low ticket funnel now and you have 1 order bump, just fix it today. Like, you should not have 1 order bump on your checkout, all right? So you want 3 order bumps. They're gonna be priced typically between $17 to $37, $47 on the high end, depending on your niche, yeah? And you want a little bit of variation in there. So it could be like 17, 27, 37, 17, 25, 35, something like that, yeah? But you want a little bit of variation. Now, a really, really good hack that you can use, and I haven't really shared this with anyone up until now, is you can have 3 bumps on your checkout, and then you can add a 4th one, which gives them all 3 bumps at a discount, right? So if you want to see how this basically looks in action, down below I'll leave a link to my low ticket offer, the milestone offer workshop, right? I'll leave a link to it. Go and have a look at it. You don't have to buy it if you don't want to. If you do, then grab it. But just have a look at it. Look at the checkout form, and you'll see I've got 3 bumps. I think they're 17, 27, 37. And then there's like a bonus. It's like a buy all bump, and they can check that and they get all 3 bumps with like a 30% discount. Now the crazy thing is, this buy all bump is converting at almost 60%, which is absolutely nuts, because order bumps typically convert at, you know, maybe like 15 to 30%, depending on the price. Obviously the cheaper ones convert higher. But yeah, this buy all bump, I think is $57. You get all 3 bumps for $57. This is converting at almost 60%, which is why I've got that crazy high average order value, right? So in terms of your bump conversion rate, you want to be aiming for 30%, right? You don't have to hit 60 like I'm talking about, but you want to be aiming for a 30% kind of take rate on your bumps, and that's going to increase your average order value, yeah? Now, the third thing you want to do is straight off the back of the purchase, you want to have an upsell. Now, you can have 2. I see people with 3, 4, it's insane. In my experience, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, because by the time someone hits the 3rd one, they're thinking, will you just fuck off? I know that's what I'm thinking, right? When I go through a funnel and the person's got 3 or 4 upsells, I just think, go away, give me my thing. So I don't find this worth it, because that 3rd and 4th one is just, it's not gonna convert at all, yeah? So you only really need 1. You don't even really need 2, if I'm being completely honest with you. Now, your upsell, depending on your niche, is typically gonna be priced from, you know, $100 to $300. So at the minute, mine is $197 to $200 basically, but it can be between $100 to $300. Now, the price point that you choose, this is gonna be determined by how much ads cost in your niche, or how much it costs you to get a customer. So if you're in like the business space, ads are very expensive. So it's gonna cost more to get a customer. So you might wanna go $200 or $300 for your upsell. If you're in, you know, like, for example, like a women's spirituality kind of niche, it might be cheaper. You know, I've got clients who are getting sales consistently for $5 or $6 in those types of niches. That would never happen with me, right? It cost me like between $20 and $30 to make a low ticket sale. I've got clients who have made sales for $5, $6, $7. It's gonna depend on your niche, how much your ads cost. If you're in one of those niches where you can get really cheap clicks, 20, 30, 50 cent clicks, then you can go with a $97 upsell. If you're in a more expensive niche, $200 to $300 is gonna work better. So put together your funnel based on the price points that I've just given you. And then what you wanna do is, once you've got those price points locked in, then you can ask yourself, right, what will fit in here nicely? You know, this is something I help my clients with. I'm very good at putting like offer stacks together, just because I've seen so many. I know some people kind of struggle with it. And that's a way more in-depth topic than what I can touch on here. But get your price points dialed in, and then decide what products need to go where, and make the product justify the price point. Don't make the price point justify the product, all right? So anyway, that's everything that I've got for you today. But yeah, guys, don't create a business that makes you hate your life. All right? Create a business that gives you the freedom that you want. The freedom where you can pick up your camera and go outside, walking on the grass, talking like a dickhead into a camera. All right, I hope you found that valuable, guys. If you're running a low ticket offer, just take what I've just said on board, because it will save you a whole bunch of time, and it will put you in a way better position to launch a funnel that actually crushes it, yeah? And one last tip, make sure that the product that you offer on the front end, make sure that that naturally ascends people into your high ticket offer without you needing to chase people down, get them on calls, be stuck in the DMs, all that kind of stuff, because that's gonna create a shit show as well if you end up having to do that, all right? So I hope you found this valuable, guys. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. If you did find this valuable, hit like, show it some love. Down in the description, if you want to check out the Milestone Offer Workshop, it's $7. You can check that out. There's also a free training where I talk about the cashback funnel, which is this type of funnel that I've just run through. If you want to go more in depth, check that out. And do you know what? If you want my help, shoot me a message on Instagram, because I never make any kind of call to action in these videos, because I don't make YouTube videos to get clients, right? But why not? At Real Ryan Wegner on Instagram. If you want my help, just fire me a DM and I'll get back to you. I respond to all of my DMs there. But that's pretty much everything, guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.